Hey, how's it going? I'm Ron.
I'm Zach.
We're from Widetrack, and this is another episode of Influences, the show where we talk about our influences. And this week is an interesting one. We're going to talk about Kiss. And by Kiss, in our world, we mean the Kiss strictly of 1973 to 1978, the original peak makeup years, which in my opinion is all the Kiss you need. More than enough Kiss there to go around. I know that's controversial. A lot of people will probably be sending me messages about why Kiss at all, or why not Kiss beyond 1978.
We're just gonna hope no one cares that much. Because if we do, man.
Yeah. So anyway, my first memories of Kiss were being a young man of 8 years old in the 70s, late 70s. And Kiss, there was nothing bigger than Kiss at the time. If you were a young person all the way through high school, it was inescapable. Kiss was pervasive. Kiss was the coolest thing on earth. They were like a lavaed version of Led Zeppelin and the Beatles mixed with superheroes. It was unbeatable. The coolest thing ever. And they were the first band that really showed me what rocking it out to the utmost on stage was about. And ever since Zach was a young toddler, I used to sit him in front of the TV and play vintage 70s Kiss concerts for him. And he would do all of his little impressions with the tongue and mouthing the words to Beth and you know, his favorite Kiss songs. So Zach and I recently revisited the 1976 Kiss Alive in Detroit concert video. And Zach, why don't you give some of your impressions here?
It was totally cool.
Yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool.
I did a lot of songs I was familiar with.
Yeah, I used to play
because
stuff in the van all the time.
I was a young lad, as young as he said, about a toddler, and I would be sat in front of the TV against my own will, but didn't matter. I'd be sat in front of the TV, and there'd be Kiss concerts that I would watch, and I thought they were the coolest thing in the entire world. Nothing was cooler than the members of Kiss. I thought, that's it. They did it.
You used to sit down and you would say, I want to see the blood, or I want to see the fire.
Yeah.
And we would bring up the sequences of Gene Simmons shooting fire, spitting the blood, Paul Stanley with his stage raps and his pointing his finger, or Ace Frehley with the smoking guitar, Peter Criss, the Cat Man. Incidentally, a couple years before Zach was born, when we were all living out in Georgia, I was in a Kiss tribute band, and I played Peter Criss, and I got to do a little tour of Nova Scotia and kind of tour the US a little bit with that, and that was a lot of fun. The Nova Scotia thing was cool because Kiss hadn't been there in a long time, and Nova Scotia kind of treated us like we were Kiss, and there's some stuff of that on YouTube under the name Kisstory. But that was some fun stuff. Eventually it wore off. The application of the makeup took 3 hours just to do that, and then the rest of the stage show and all that. It was a lot of work, and if you're going to do that long term, you would have to really be committed to it and really love Kiss, and it kind of wore out for me after a while, but I'm forever thankful for that experience. And anyway, Zach and I used to watch those shows, and
I can't really remember too much of it. I just remember a couple songs like Beth, World Without Heroes, Black Diamond.
mm, that Shock Me or Rocket Ride. Yeah. And yeah, for myself, it was always about the deep cuts, because what's that? Okay, yeah, the deep cuts were that's the stuff that's really stuck with me. Stuff like Watching You, and She, and I Want You, and I guess to any Kiss fan, those are not really considered deep cuts. Kiss are kind of like the Beatles to their crowd, where if you're that into Kiss, you know all the tunes, and you know, you even know the introductions, the stage raps that Paul Stanley would introduce the songs by. And but the thing that was interesting about Kiss for me was that they were very reverent towards their influences. Specifically the Beatles and Led Zeppelin. You know, Kiss was really at their heart, they were a very melodic band. They tried to be a very melodic band, and their songwriting was a more cruder form maybe of the Beatles and Led Zeppelin, but they were played on the radio quite a bit, and a lot of people, as I said, criticize Kiss as being a totally gimmick based, but personally for me, I think the songs hold up. You know, a lot of those earlier Kiss tunes, they hold up pretty good. But when they were on stage, that was when they were unstoppable. They were just last week. What did you think of that live concert? I mean,
It was probably the most defining thing about Kiss, besides all the cool makeup and the cool playing and the cool songs, was the stage performance. By far, how they acted on stage and how they act on stage is unmatched by anyone. It's like if somebody says, how does a rock star act on stage? You'd say, well, how Kiss acts on stage.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that really, underneath all the makeup and all of the stage props and the smoke and blood and fire and all that stuff, Kiss were just, they left it on the stage every night. They, back in that era, 1976, when they did their classic Kiss Alive album, Rush was opening up for them. And Rush is nothing like Kiss. And
early Rush was similar.
Yeah, there maybe were some similarities, but the things that I've read by Rush and seen in interviews, that they say, you know, think what you want about Kiss, but nobody put that much energy into a stage show. And watching the concert the other night, we were really taken aback by, like, wow, I mean, okay, these guys are a bit sloppy, but they are really sweating it out. They're jumping all around and just putting every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears into what they do. And even if they didn't have the makeup and all the gimmicks, if they were just doing that, they would be a hell of a band to be watching. And the fact is that their songs did have a very great energy for the live stage. And they did employ all of the usual come on sing along choruses and guitar solos and things in their songs that drew in the crowd, really cool beats and things that would really pull the crowd in. So I believe their success was deserved.
I think they're kind of the key, like, band that, or the key sort of rock band, you know? Like, if you're gonna be in a rock and roll band, you gotta take some notes from Kiss, because they did something right, at least. Whether it be how their songs were arranged, how they were played on stage, the energy they used on stage, how they incorporated different things to their live performance. performances, they definitely did something right, and they definitely knew how to rock.
That's a great point, man, because like, okay, you name any band from the 90s that the rock bands that we've covered here on the Influence show, or from that
Have
big
yet to cover.
yeah, Soundgarden, Smashing Pumpkins, Nirvana, Foo Fighters. I mean, just go
STP.
down the list. They all give it up for Kiss. They were all influenced heavily by Kiss. Kim Thale from Soundgarden said, and I quote, "I learned guitar from
Because
sitting in front of my TV working out Kiss licks." I mean, Kiss was highly influential. They belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Did they ever get put in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
probably.
I think they did. I don't know. If they didn't, they belong there. They should have been there a long time ago. We all know what a jackass Gene Simmons has turned out to be. And whatever your thoughts are on that, I respect him.
That's
but
not Kiss. That's
Kiss has become kind of Disneyed.
that's Talking Frog.
they're-
Don't worry about that.
They're older and they made it to the top of the hill. They're living in luxury. They're what they are now. But everything they are and everything they've achieved was, in my opinion, in those first 5 years.
Yeah.
And they went into the wilderness, and there was a time there where there was nothing more uncool than Kiss. Between the years of the first couple of years of the 80s especially, and then they took the makeup off and they jumped on the hair metal bandwagon, and they had some huge success in the 80s and 90s even. And they reunited in 1996, Tiger Stadium. I was there. It was great. Alice in Chains and Sponge, my buddies from Detroit, opened up for them, and they were fantastic. They came out, they played all the songs, they sounded amazing, and it was a nice trip down memory lane, but it paled in comparison still to what you could see. Just go on YouTube and type up anything Kiss 1977 and back. Earlier the better, actually. The Winterland concert from 1974 is freaking amazing. That's just a great show to watch. But anyhow, we wanted to give a little nod to Kiss because we kind of went back and forth about Kiss. It's like we're not like Kiss in the obvious ways, but in our hearts, when we go out on stage, they are kind of the representation of how to give it up with everything you got when you go on stage. And so there's a little bit of Kiss in our souls, and we felt that it was right to acknowledge that. So anyhow, always welcome your comments and feedback.
Your thoughts?
And your thoughts.
Just don't be a psychopath, we know. I'm kidding, I know. You wouldn't do such a thing.
We've got some two-part influences coming up. There's a couple bands that we're just not going to be able to cover in one episode. So, and yeah, and some more TV shows and books and movies.
Don't worry, they're not lame.
Yeah. Well, at least we hope you won't think so. So anyway, thanks so much for the support. And until next time, keep on rocking.